Hello, my name is Sophie and welcome back to my channel. I think the turn of a new month is sometimes the easiest time to make content for someone on BookTube, because there's the wrap-up videos, there's the TBR videos, there's statistics, there's this, that and the other, and I'm absolutely going to lead into that because today I'm coming at you with my January TBR. The way I make my TBR is slightly different to how I've seen other people on the internet do it. I call it a functional TBR, and that is not to imply that I don't think other people's TBRs aren't functional. It's just that mine has a function, so that's what I call it. My TBR is essentially and almost entirely to make sure that I'm making the most of the subscription services that I am using so that I'm not wasting money. Arguably I am then wasting money on all the books that are on my TBR that I don't have time to get to, but that's a different point for a different time and actually I do kind of address it. So we're making changes in 2024. So the way that I make my TBR is that I have certain categories and certain subscriptions that I want to make the most of. So the first book I read is my book club book. In the briefest way possible, my book club is called the Rocket Book Club because when my husband and I got married, we asked for books as gifts. We asked our guests to gift us a copy of their favourite books. So we have a collection of our favourite people's favourite books, and in an endeavour to read them all, we take it in turns to pick one a month, and I read it and he doesn't. And this month he has chosen Murder Most Ladylike by Robin Stevens, and I believe this is a middle grade book based on the fact that this was the choice from one of my 11-year-old bridesmaids. I actually know nothing about this book. Let's have a read. When Daisy Wells and Hazel Wong set up a secret detective agency at Deep Dean School for Girls, they struggle to find any real crimes to investigate, unless you count the case of Lavinia's missing tie, which they don't. Then Hazel discovers the body of Miss Bell, and when she and Daisy return 5 minutes later, the body has disappeared. Not only do they have a murder to solve, they must prove one happened in the first place. That actually sounds really good. It sounds like the kind of thing that I would have enjoyed as a kid. It sounds like my level of crime fiction. I don't read a lot of crime fiction. I almost exclusively read the Thursday Murder Club books by Richard Osman, but this sounds super fun and I'm looking forward to reading it actually. And because it's middle grade, the font will probably be quite big, and yeah, the font's pretty big, and it will be quite fast-paced, I think. So hopefully a nice quick read to start the year. Then my next category in my functional TBR is reading books from Kindle Unlimited. Now in December I did decide, you know what, I'm not getting any use out of Kindle Unlimited, I'm gonna cancel it. There's a few books that I would like to read, but I'm just not reading enough to justify this subscription. And then Amazon did that thing where it's like, we'll give you 3 months for 99p, and I was like, oh, all right then. So I'm trying to read 2 books from Kindle Unlimited every month, but the last time I read a Kindle Unlimited book was in September. But this section is now twofold because I went through and searched on Amazon all of the books that are on my physical TBR to see which, if any of them, were on Kindle Unlimited, and now I have a list of the books that I own that are on Kindle Unlimited. Does this kind of defeat the point of Kindle Unlimited to read books I already own? Yes and no, because I think I read quicker on my Kindle, so at least there's that. So my Kindle Unlimited choices for this month are books that I do own physically, but this will help me get through my TBR a little bit faster and in different formats. So the 2 Kindle Unlimited books I've picked this month are With This Kiss by Carrie Hope Fletcher, which I pre-ordered in 2021 or 2, and I pre-ordered this edition with the beautiful sprayed edges. Still haven't bloody read it. So now that it's on KU, I'm going to read it there. And then one of the other books from my TBR that is on Kindle Unlimited is Beastly by Alex Flynn, which is a modernisation retelling of Beauty and the Beast, which I only found out about because they made a film adaptation, hence this cover with Vanessa Hudgens and Alex Pettifer. Yeah, that's their names. Did I ever watch the film? No, but I did read the book, but I want to reread it as an adult to decide whether I like it enough to keep in my collection. I want to reread Beastly. I remember really enjoying this, so I'm looking forward to reading that this month. She says that like she's actually going to get to every book on this list, which is unlikely. Then the next category on my functional TBR is to listen to 2 audiobooks because I pay for Audible. I don't know why I said because, I think that was quite self-explanatory. And I've written down 2 books, but I'm also currently in the process of finishing Bloodmarked by Tracy Deonn, which was on my list for my December TBR, but I didn't quite finish it because that audiobook is 22 hours long. So I suppose I could keep that and bump one of these, but optimistically I'm going to hope that I finish Bloodmarked and both of these books. Whether that happens is another story entirely, because my first pick is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, which is the first book in the Kingkiller Chronicles series, and I only have it on the list because I bought a novella without realising that I needed to read the first books in the series first. So this is my way of doing that. And The Name of the Wind, off the top of my head, I think is 22 hours long, and its sequel, The Wise Man's Fear, is 40 hours long as an audiobook. And then I also want to try and listen to Culty by Mariana Zapata. I think I picked this up as part of a Kindle Unlimited Audible mishmash crossover thing, and I've seen a lot of the romance booktubers I like talking about Mariana Zapata, and I think I added this to my want to read list on Storygraph because I saw Chandler Ainsley talking about it. I can't remember what video it was. I watch a lot of booktube videos. I've heard good things about Culty, and I think it will be nice to have a little bit of a romance interlude between the super long YA fantasy book and the super long adult fantasy book. I don't really know anything about The Name of the Wind. Then I do have a category in my Functional TBR that I won't be using this month, and that's my Afterlight subscription box, because Afterlight has gone monthly as of this year, but the books arrive so late in the month that I read them in the following month. So for example, my Illumicrate book for this month is the book, it was December's Illumicrate book, but it didn't arrive until quite late in the month, so it goes on my January TBR. I hope that makes sense. But my Illumicrate book for this month is The Principle of Moments by Esmie Jikiemi-Pearson, who has also just written a novelisation of The Church on Ruby Road, which was the Christmas special Doctor Who episode. Fun fact, this is a sci-fi space opera, I believe. It might even be gay as well. How exciting. It's got beautiful sprayed edges and it looks really long, so I'm a bit intimidated by it, but I'm hoping to read this month. And then another book that I don't own physically yet, because this category is entirely based on new releases. I also have a category for any new releases that I've pre-ordered throughout the month, because if I'm going to the effort of pre-ordering a book, I want to make sure I'm prioritising reading it somewhat straight away. So the book in my new releases category is Feybound by Sarah Al Harifi. I literally only pre-ordered it a few days ago, but the Waterstones exclusive edition is so pretty. And it's not just that the sprayed edges are pretty, it's that I've seen people talking about this book and I've already added it to my want to read shelf on Storygraph. It sounds incredible. It's getting so much hype, both from like influencers and people online, but also from traditional marketing. People are really pushing it. It's so pretty and I'm really looking forward to reading it. And I'm also really looking forward, kind of unrelated, to reading a book when it comes out and being part of the hype, rather than reading it 4 months later and kind of the hype has died, so I don't have anyone to talk to about it. I'm really hoping that I can actually get to this one this month so that I can really be there in the moment, you know? And then the last section in my Functional TBR is new for this year, because I set myself a 23 in 2023 list and then proceeded to only read books out of my TBR jar before I started this Functional TBR. So whether I read any of the books on my list was left completely to chance, because there were approximately 300 books in my TBR jar that relate to the unread books on my shelves. So for my 24 in 2024, because 24 is a multiple of 12, this makes it way easier to add to the monthly TBR. I'm choosing 2 books from my 24 in 2024 list to add to my TBR each month. Is this making my TBR even longer when I haven't actually achieved reading all of the books on my TBR for literally months? Yes, but we can but try. So the 2 books I've picked from my 24 in 2024 for January are The Worst of Me by Kate Levan. So I probably picked this up when I was a teenager. It's absolutely a YA romance, and the blurb sounds awful, so I don't really know why I picked it up. So what I'm what I'm anticipating from this is that I'll read it, I'll hate it, and I'll put it on my list of books to donate, so at least I'll have one less book in my collection. But it's relatively short, like I say, it's YA, so the font's quite big. I'm hoping it'll be relatively fast paced. Let's get some quick wins in at the beginning of 2024, shall we? The last book on my Functional TBR, and the second of my 24 in 2024 that I'm hoping to read this year, is Girl Goddess Queen by B. Fitzgerald. It's this beautiful, I think it's a Waterstones exclusive edition that's got these fantastic sprayed edges. It's a Persephone and Hades retelling. I personally got this copy because my sibling gave it to me for my birthday, and I'm so excited to read about this. I've seen a lot of hype about B. Fitzgerald. I follow her on TikTok. I think she's definitely one of those authors that's there with her readers. I think some authors write content for their readers, and I think some authors write content arguably for themselves because they are the kind of reader they want to target, and I think that's my kind of author as well. I was going to hold it with the covers out, but we've got a lot of sprayed edges this month, and ironically with this kiss and the Principle of Moments kind of match. So that's my stack. That's the physical editions of my January TBR, plus a new release that isn't out yet, some audiobooks, and that's it. I don't know why I said and. In total, my January TBR has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books on it. And my average reading for a month is anywhere between 4 and 6 books. And I'm currently reading Bloodmarked. So either the January wrap up is going to be super long or it's going to be super disappointing. So manage your expectations. I should manage my expectations and have shorter TBRs and unsubscribe from some of the books that I can't read quick enough, but that's not going to happen. So let's just keep making TBRs that are this long. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you at some point next week for another video. I've not entirely figured out a schedule yet. Bye!